And hello again, everyone. Steve Beverly, live from Fred DeLay Gymnasium, David Blackstock Court. Tonight it is Union University taking on West Alabama in another Gulf South Conference. Very important match because they're all important now as we get down close to the end of the conference race because of seeding for the conference tournament. Union has not yet sewed up a berth. The top 8 teams in the conference will go to the conference tournament. Union hasn't sewn that up, but tonight could go a long way. The Lady Bulldogs have been on a tough road trip. They dropped 3 out of 5, but I can tell you one of those was just against an incredible West Florida team that leads the conference that I can tell you Darren McClure says it's one of the greatest teams he's ever seen since he's been coaching here at Union. Also, if you look at it, Union was also in the Southeast crossover tournament as the Lady Bulldogs are being introduced to the crowd tonight. They lost to number 17 Nova Southeastern, and as well they took on very, very tough teams, Lynn University and Barry University. So Union trying to get the ship righted. They did come home with a victory over Auburn Montgomery that was huge on the road because that means Union holds a tiebreaker with AUM for seeding when it comes to the conference tournament. Union 16-11, and in the conference 7-4, tied for 4th with AUM. This West Alabama team has had a tough road this year. They're 1-19. Their one victory has been in the conference against Christian Brothers, but they are a team that you will not find them in any fashion panicking or not giving their all, because when they played Union the first time out, they did take one set from the Lady Bulldogs. So this is going to be, I think, really a very competitive game, at least in the first couple of sets. But Union on paper does have the edge by a significant margin. And tonight you'll also be hearing from a couple of our seniors for the Lady Bulldogs, Laura Rose Gray as well as Alyssa Tatch. We had a chance to visit with them before tonight's game, and we'll also be hearing from Coach Darren McClure. Glad to have all of you aboard. For all of you parents who can't make it in here to Jackson for these games, it is a delight to have you, as well as you parents who are watching who are from the West Alabama team. It's always good to hear from parents on the road teams, and we're just delighted to have these young ladies who are here from Livingston, Alabama, in on the court tonight. And to start it all off, we'll see who is going to do the initial serve. And you got players that are of international variety, as well as from Florida, Illinois, from Tuscaloosa, from Texas, South Carolina on this West Alabama team. And really, as we mentioned, the first set typically in the first 5 to 7 points typically is going to be for the teams to try to find out what the other one does. Maddie Van Dyke is going to be the first server tonight for West Alabama. She's a 5'10 freshman from Humble, Texas. And I've actually been through that town before. And here we go with the return. And that one's wide. Wide left, and Union with the first point. They were trying to get the angle behind the two Union backcourt defenders. And now to serve, it is Jordan Vick, the 5'8 junior from up the road in Camden, Tennessee. She takes that high jump before she serves. There's your return. Union with a block. Excellent block up front by Emily Grace Calhoun, the junior from Jonesboro, Arkansas. So Vick will serve it again, leading 2-0. Union is having after this game tonight, and so give it back to the Lady Bulldogs. It's 3-0. After this game tonight, Union is hosting Bulldog Madness. They don't do it at midnight here, but Bulldog Madness, the kickoff to basketball season that begins for real Saturday afternoon here at David Blackstock Court. And Tatch with a nice angular return. Sample with a good setup. Tatch with that hard driving angular return again. Sample, another good set from the backcourt. Tatch with that power move. And the block, and it is Union. 4-0. This front court of Tatch, Blakemore, and Calhoun, when they are on their game, they're almost invincible, particularly on this court. Union with a 4-0 lead. Vic to serve once again. Goes with a left hand. Nice save in the backcourt. Here's the set. Power move, and it goes back to the backcourt for Union again. Perfect downward flight on it. Emily Grace just had excellent geometry on that return, and Lady Bulldogs just seem very relaxed. Glad to be back home after that rather grueling road trip that they had. We're glad to be with you. We got 2 more home games after this one, and that one was a bit short for West Alabama, and Union leads at 6-0. We have timeout, and so we're going to go to an interview we did earlier with Laura Rose Gray, and we asked her what it was that led her to participate in competitive volleyball at the college level.
Well, I just love the sport of volleyball in general, and I love being a part of a team. It's very nice to have my teammates and compete with something that I like to do.
Well, now, let me ask you from this standpoint, is this the only sport that you have participated in at this level, or when you were in high school or in earlier years, did you do other sports?
So I have done basketball and track in high school.
So you've had some speed along with what you have there. Let's talk about what led you to make the decision to come to Union, because people have different reasons for coming in addition to the fact that you're offered a scholarship. But what was it that was the light bulb that said, okay, Laura Rose, you're going to Union?
Whenever I first met the coaches, Coach Darren and Coach Krista, they were just awesome. And I loved the way that they looked at coaching and looked at life in general. So I was excited to commit to them.
And the first point of the night for West Alabama, 6-1. And Laura Rose, as she will tell us more about herself as we go along, she owes a lot to her family because they've always been very encouraging for her. Here to serve, Madison Fisher. She's the 5'11 sophomore from Ocala, Florida. That's a little dink by Tatch. Sometimes she'll do that to fake the competition, sample the return, and Tatch goes down into the net. And so 2 straight points for the Tigers. And they have Natalia Medeiros, who is from Rio de Janeiro, and this young lady right here, Madison Fisher, once again. And that one goes just a bit too far. I know the coach is happy when she eats Wheaties for breakfast, but that had just a little bit too much energy on it. Alyssa Tatch in to serve with Union on top 7-2. And that was one of her softer serves, sort of like a Dairy Queen ice cream cone. And give it back. That was more of a push on the part of Sample, and they said it was not a legal return, so it's a 7-3 game. Union had the first 6 points, and now in to serve, it is Mackenzie Wells, the 5'3 junior from Colorado. Here's your set. That's almost impossible to stop. When they get on that roll, particularly these tall frontliners, and they get that kind of push on it, just say goodbye. Here's Emily Grace Calhoun, the junior from Jonesboro. And it's Union's ball. That one was wide right. A 9-3 Lady Bulldog lead. And getting a little height on her jump. They're going to have to go to the backcourt with this one. Tatch with a soft one in between the box of defenders. Power move stopped by West Alabama. The block. They're going to have to get that one. Yes. But look out for this one. That left-handed return is very, very dangerous by China Dixon. But Union scores it to go up 10-3. Lady Bulldogs have not lost on our digital network with the 6 home games we have done so far this year. Nicely done. Just had extra power on that one, and a terrific job by Natalia. She's the transfer from Jefferson College, and to serve is Kiara Dunson. She's from Joliet, Illinois, went to Plainfield Central High School, a 5-foot freshman. And she's got power on that serve. Don't kid yourself. Nice downward return by Laura Rose Gray, and it goes off of the back row, and score one for West Alabama, 10-5. And you can see this team, there's a lot of energy and encouragement from their front line as well against what's really a bit of a taller Union set of blockers. And again, that one goes in reverse. And it's in. I think West Alabama was hoping that one was going to go wide beyond the boundary, but it did not. And so, terrific job on the return by Reese Owens. And here we go. It is Greta Blakemore, the 5'10 freshman from Kentucky, and she nailed that one to make it a 12-5 game. Greta went to Lexington Christian Academy. She takes that one-step jump and score the point again for Union to make it a 13-5 lead. In case you have not followed this brand of volleyball at the college level, it's 5 sets max, 25 points, and that one goes beyond the boundary. Just a little bit too much power on that one, so give the point to West Alabama. You play 25 points in each set, and the team has to win by 2. If it goes to a 5th set, you play to 15, and again, the winner has to do it by 2. And here we go, Ainsley Hartman. Pardon me, that is Eloisa Nispodinski. I was looking at the wrong corner of my sheet, so forgive me, everyone. Nice dink, and it was nicely recovered by West Alabama. Excellent job on the return, getting the angle just right. Union out of position to take that one. And Nispodinski is from Brazil. She also went to Iowa Western Community College. Just too much on that one. Checking in for Union, Hayley Ramsey, the 5'9 senior from Millington. And Haley's going to serve it. Hayley has a terrific serve. She's always got a smile on her face out on the court. Gets the high jump on it. There's the set. That was the fake in. They did the curl move and catch. I'm going to be talking to Alyssa about that later on tonight, and you're going to hear how she developed that power move. We call her the cannon, because when she gets one like that, it is just like watching that ball being rocketed out of a cannon. Here's Hayley with a 16-7 lead. And again, another beautiful set on the inside, nicely handled by Amelia Jonigan. She's the 6'1 freshman from Hoover, Alabama, that I zip through many, many times if I'm on my way down to my home of Columbus, Georgia. And, of course, the home of a lot of SEC sports. Oh, my goodness. Alyssa Tatch, the person who has one of the nicest, gentlest personalities that you'll ever be around. But don't get around her if she's got a volleyball in her hand and is ready to defend herself. It's 16-8. Sample with the serve. And they couldn't set up a kill. And again, the high jump. Beautifully done. Emily Grace, she can get up sky high and just knock those things down at a perfect angle. Sample again to serve with Union up by 9. We've been playing about 15 minutes in this first set. This one's got to go. And that was one, just didn't quite have the communication on that as to who was going to do the block, so give the point to the Tigers. And back to serve, Maddie Van Dyke. She went to Trinity Valley Community College and transferred in to West Alabama. Here goes the return. Nicely done by Sample. Can dig those things out so wonderfully, but it was just into the net. So it's a 17-10 lead for Union. And you can see the big smile on the face of Mackenzie Wells. Once again to serve is Van Dyke. Here's your set. The dink is perfect. They didn't have to go for the big one that time. Emily Grace Calhoun outmaneuvered the blockers, and the 6'1 junior made it work. And here goes Jordan Vick again in service. The pride of Camden Central High School. Too much on it. Lady Bulldogs up 18-11. Well, instead, give the point. They say it was, and so give the point to the Tigers. And back to serve, Madison Fisher once again. She went to Bellevue High School. Ocala, one of the great tourist spots in the state of Florida. That one is in, and so Union now with a 19-11 lead. Lady Bulldogs have controlled this one mostly between 6 and 8 points after getting the first 6 points of this set. And Alyssa Tatch, who has two different styles of serves, she's back to send it over. She takes the jumping high jump this time. Block on the inside. And they give it, though they say it goes out of bounds, and so it is point West Alabama. Got some good energy here in Fred DeLay Gymnasium tonight. To serve it is Mackenzie Wells once again. She's 5'3", from Fruita, Colorado, and went to Fruita Monument High School. And a transfer. They got a lot of junior college and community college transfers, and the officials are going to talk over that previous point. So let's see what happens. In fact, you've got the head referee and the two line judges are over trying to sort all of this out. Over in the lower left-hand corner, see Dan Griffin, Director of Enrollment, Vice President for Enrollment at Union University. And you've got some people making their way in for volleyball before Bulldog Madness starts at the close of this game. We won't be bringing you that, but we will be here live Saturday afternoon. And our time will start right around 1:45 before the 2 o'clock tip-off. And it will be the Lady Bulldogs will be going against UT Southern, which is the new name for, and after that discussion, the lengthy discussion, it is going to go to West Alabama. I think mainly what they were trying to do is to sort out where they were going to go eat after the game tonight, because I don't think they had supper before they got here. There's your serve. Now watch this one. And a double hit. So nice recovery, and it's back to a 6-point lead at 19-13. And this team can get into a whirl and make this one an interesting one in this first set. Once again, Mackenzie Wells. More of the flat-footed serve that time. Big hurry. Trying to keep it alive. Tatch with the recovery. Power move, yes ma'am, by Reese Owens. 20-13, Union in the red zone, 5 away from victory. And Emily Grace Calhoun will serve it. She's a junior, but she has been something else for these Lady Bulldogs. And nicely done. Very soft one by Maddie Van Dyke, and she got it right between that box where the defenders were. You usually have a box of 4 defenders between the middle row and the front row of blockers, and you typically, if you can get it between that row, you can probably have an opportunity to get the point. Nice downward flight. Union did not communicate well on that, so it's a 20-15 game, and you got to hand it to this West Alabama team. They have not given up under any circumstances. Kiara Dunson once again. Back to serve. They have a lot of hopes from her in the years to come. She is a freshman. And the dink and the nice recovery by the Tigers. The block. Good recovery on the part of West Alabama. Now this one's got to go. And Tatch, that power move once again by the Cannon. And Tatch with the 2-hand curl. Yeah! Just no way you were going to stop that one. 21-15. Union continues in the red zone, now 4 away from victory in this first set. Greta Blakemore to serve it. Just barely got it over the net. Sample, nice save. She is one of the best in the entire conference at that. And Tatch from the back row makes it a 22-15 game. So 3 away from victory for Union. They're going to have to get this one over here. Tatch with the 2-hand curl. And there you again, between the box of defenders, and there was no way you were going to stop Laura Rose Gray from getting that inside. We got timeout with it 23-15. Let's go back to what Laura Rose had to say about this team and the relationships the players have with each other.
Well, that's what makes it so fun. I mean, we take it seriously, but at the same time, we have the freedom to have a lot of fun while we're playing it, even though it is extremely competitive.
All right, this year you've had it's really been a strong season. You're 16-11 coming into tonight's game, and it's really the kind of season where you've had to be toughened up when you go to these Southeastern crossover contests like you had weekend before last. But tell me what you take away from and try to learn from every game as you're participating to help you and your team get better.
We always talk about getting 1% better in everything that we do, whether it's practice or life in general, and especially games. You want to do your best. So you have to be zoned in and have that focus, especially for games.
I enjoyed that visit with Laura Rose, and also you'll be seeing when we have our 5-minute break, Alyssa Tatch talks about the importance of her parents, and she tells you a little bit about their lives out in San Antonio, Texas. But Union 2 away from the victory here in the first set. And the setup, perfect angle on that. Excellent job by Jonigan. I mean, she got up sky high and put that. If that would have been one to look at the geometry, make that a problem in a geometry class about how she made that angle work. 23-16, and back to serve is Eloisa Nispajenski. Power move up front. Yes, Emily Grace, Laura Rose Gray just absolutely, there was no way. And she put spin on that one. It is so hard to recover from that. So we are at set point, 24-16, and Hayley Ramsey is going to try to see if she can wrap it up right here. Here's the set. Sample, the nice save. Tatch wide. Boy, the cannon fired it, and it just did not drop with the angle well enough, and it went about 3 feet wide right. And so 24-17, still set point for the Lady Bulldogs, and to serve is Jonigan. Here's the setup. The dink, and good recovery for the Tigers. They got to get this one over. Watch this. Tatch. Good dig out from the backcourt. That doesn't happen a lot of times to Alyssa, and it's wide. And so Union will take the first set 25-17, and there you go. Let's go back to another of our interview segments with Laura Rose Gray, and we ask her, particularly as this game is unfolding tonight, you have to have great focus, and we've had a couple of games where the Lady Bulldogs had to come from behind in certain sets in order to win. So we told her, and we set up a scenario about how this team deals with it when they are behind and they know they have to maintain their cool to be able to come from behind and get a victory. Here's what she had to say.
Right. Well, again, that comes with being zoned in and having that focus. And it's just really rewarding to know that you can do something like that and then actually do it.
I want you to tell us something about where you're from and also your family, because Union's a family, but we don't oftentimes get a chance to find out about just what life has been like for you before you came to Union. So tell us about that.
Well, I've lived in a couple different states, which has been awesome, sports-wise and just culturally. I've gotten to experience a lot of cultures and a lot of different volleyball teams, so that's been fun. And my family has always been there to support me at my volleyball games and after practice. So I love my family, very grateful for them.
As we mentioned, Lady Bulldogs have been on a tough road schedule and dropped 4 games out of 5, but 3 of those, actually 4 of them, were against some of the top teams in America in Division II college volleyball. And the Lady Bulldogs were very, very competitive. So we asked Coach Darren McClure what the team learned from that road trip.
Well, I think anytime that you play competition like that, you get exposed things that you need to work on, So we came back from being at the crossover and understanding that we need to work on serve receive primarily. And honestly, had we not even played those games, we knew that that's something that we needed to get better at. So it caused us to focus a little bit more. And then obviously going to play West Florida last weekend is tough. They're probably the best team I've seen them have since I've been in Division II. So it was just fun to compete against them, and for the most part, we competed pretty well. We just realized that we have to be more consistent and play the entire match. So just looking forward to being back home.
Darren McClure is one of the best guys in the business, and I can tell you, he'll give you a straight answer to a question. You'll hear a lot of coach speak out of him because he says, look, I know these players know where they are in the standings. They can go to the website and see it. And so he says he doesn't have a lot of trouble dealing with that kind of element of the game. But Union winning the first set 25-17, and now we go to set number 2. And this is always a critical one for the team that lost the first set because you do not want to get down 2 straight sets. The one thing that still being somewhat in the COVID era, the teams do not swap ends of the court. That's one of the things that in college volleyball they have restricted themselves from doing. Union will serve first in this one, and Jordan Vick, the junior from Camden, will send it over. Nicely done by Fisher, but Sample with a recovery. Here goes Fisher again. The left-hand move, yeah. That's one of those when they go to the left and it looks as though they're going to go straight and then they go right, and Union gets the first point. Lady Bulldogs had the first 6 in the first set. That one dropped awfully low. Nice recovery by Sample. This one has to go, and Tatch had it blocked. But it went wide, and so Union scores it. A 2-0 lead. As I told Alyssa yesterday, I said, full disclosure, she is a former student of mine before I retired last year. She is one of the kindest and one of the most friendliest people that you'll ever be around. But my goodness, I said, and that one goes to West Alabama. My goodness, when she rears back and fires on that cannon, I said, it's like you have a totally different personality. Madison Fisher is back to serve for West Alabama. And here she goes. And it goes wide. Just a little bit too much strength on that one. She got downward flight, but it was about, maybe 2.5 feet beyond the end line. And so it is Alyssa Tatch back to serve as Union leads it 3-1. West Alabama would love nothing more than to be able to even this up in the second set. Blockers save it. And Tatch with the power, but the backcourt does a good job of saving it. Nice one by Medeiros. And just out of the outstretched hands of Mackenzie Wells, and Union goes up 4-1. Lady Bulldogs looking for their 17th victory of the season tonight, but more importantly, to go 8-4 in the conference race. Nice dink. Oh, perfectly maneuvered. Excellent job by Beatrice Jardin. And back to serve it is Mackenzie Wells. This young lady just has a pleasant expression on her face all during the game. Doesn't matter how far behind West Alabama has been tonight. She's just very encouraging to her teammates. And there you go. Terrific job on that return by Medeiros. And you can see the happy smiles on the part of the Tigers as they've closed it to 4-3. And here goes Wells once again. There's your set. The left-hander. Terrific job by Greta Blakemore going left-handed. 5-3 lead for Union. And back to serve, it is Emily Grace Calhoun. Emily Grace gets that two-step running approach and then hits it hard. And that's going to go to, it's going to go back to West Alabama, so they've closed it once again to 5-4. And again, another thing, in case you have not followed this brand of volleyball at the collegiate level or the Olympic level, it's no longer that you have to serve in order to score. If you hit it out of bounds, even if you don't serve, it's going to count for one of the other teams. That one was just a little bit too much power by Reese Owens. I mean, she looked like she was playing in the World Series for the Braves tonight, but Kiara Dunson pounds it home. Nice fake on the part of the Lady Bulldogs up front. And that one was just way out of the range of Tatch to be able to hold on to. So, first lead of the night for West Alabama. They're on top 6-5 and have done a nice job in this second set. Here again is Dunson. She only goes 5 feet tall, but she can do a lot with the ball on the court, including a nice serve like that. And huge jump by Laura Rose Gray. Laura Rose, 6'3". She is a graduate student at Union, but she had one more year of eligibility left. The left-hand serve by Blakemore. And they were going to set that one up, and Tatch tried to serve it, but she tried to recover it. It went into the stands. And again, terrific on the part of Medeiros, the junior from Rio de Janeiro. Back to the 7-6 lead for West Alabama, and to serve it is Nice Pojinski. And this one's got to go. Tatch. Nice recovery by Eloisa. And that one just beyond the end line, and so Union ties it back up at 7. Checking in again and coming in to serve Hayley Ramsey. Darren McClure has a tremendous weapon on her part because she's also a very strong retriever in the backcourt. She takes that high jump And they're going to have to get that one over now, and they did. Tatch. Oh, you talking about powering that between the defenders, and the cannon made that one fire. Union back to an 8-7 lead. Ramsey from Tipton Rosemark Academy got the nice curving dip on that one. Nobody was expecting that from either the blockers or the backcourt, and so Union up 9-7, 3 consecutive points for the Lady Bulldogs. Ramsey, as we say, Darren McClure has an excellent weapon on her service. Got the dip on that with the corner. Terrific job, though. Recovery by Amelia Jonigan. Now, she had one that just, that was like watching a plane come in for a landing, and you better get out of the way of it. It's a 9-8 game. And the serve, and it was just too much on it. Amelia needed to have a little bit more of a downward flight about halfway over the net, and it just didn't cooperate. Now, here goes Sample, who once again, she is an excellent server as well. Sydney Sample, the junior from Jonesboro, went to Nettleton High School and got a lot of power. Here they go and try to go left to right, and it goes into the net. 11-8 Union lead. And this Lady Bulldog team communicating with each other very, very well. As we heard from both Laura Rose Gray and as you're going to hear from Alyssa Tatch, this team really likes each other, too. They enjoy being together. Sample with a nice recovery. Downward flight once again. Excellent job on the part of Emily Grace Calhoun. I think she wasn't even sure that that was going to fall where it did. Here goes Sample. She gets a lot of height on her jump. All right, they're going to have to make this one work. Got the curl over. Here's your set. Nice job from those blockers up front. Great block. It was a tremendous attempt on the part of Madison Fisher, but Emily Grace Calhoun managed to sneak it over the net, and Union now up to a 5-point lead. That is the largest in this set, 13-8. Here goes Sample again. She's had a good run in service. And they're going to have to try to get this one over now. They got the curl. Whoa! 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 I'm telling you, Jordan Vick had power behind it. We're taking time out. It's 14-8, Union on top. And we're going to wind up our visit with Laura Rose Gray by asking her about how this team is staying focused, and particularly with every game being so important before the Gulf South Conference tournament.
We really take it one day at a time. I mean, every practice is preparation for the next game, so we have that in mind. And we really like to have a game plan for each game, so incorporating that into every practice is really helpful.
Let me ask you one final question, because
okay.
I think we would be remiss if we didn't do this. Tell us what your, not just from an athletic standpoint, but as a senior, what your Union experience has been.
So I transferred here, and it has been the best decision of my life. I love it here, academically, culturally, and athletically. There's been so much growth in the program, especially with Coach Johnny Wilson as our athletic trainer. He wasn't whenever we first got here, and now he really helps us grow strength-wise and also being prepared for games and practices. So that's been very nice as a part of my.
Well, coaching may well be in the future of Laura Rose Gray. She just seems to feel like that is something that she's headed toward. But as we mentioned, she's a graduate student at Union, but still had another year of eligibility. And Union up 16-8 now, in pretty good control of this second set. Whoa! I am telling you, talk about rear back and fire. Madison Fisher did that, and Bailey Hughes went to the deck for Union. She's okay. Got a smile on her face about it, but boy, did she get clobbered. To serve again is Van Dyke. Tatch. Boy, she makes the defenders have to really adjust very quickly. And high in is Emily Grace Calhoun. It is a 16-9 Union lead. And back to serve is Jordan Vick. She gets that high jump after a two-step approach. Nice save and recovery. They're going to have to get this one over with the curl, and they do. Here's your set. Watch this one. Wasn't a doubt in my mind that Fisher was going to clobber that one going left to right. 16-9, Lady Bulldogs in front. And as you can see, they're down a set and they're down by 7, but they still have a great expression on their faces. Here's Madison Fisher. She gets a high jump on her serve as well. In between the defenders, just a perfect return. And so Tatch goes back to serve, and coming in for Union is Reese Owens. 17-10 lead. Union was down a couple of times early in this set, but has managed to get it back under control and now up by 7. The Lady Bulldogs win tonight. They are 8-4 in the conference, and they hold the tiebreaker for the 4th seed in the conference tournament over Auburn Montgomery. Tatch, the high jump. And that one was one that was just a little bit of miscommunication, and Beatrice Jardon just could not simply get it across. And so Tatch with an 8-point lead, and you can understand this young lady who leads the team in kills, she just takes one step, high jump this time. A terrific job by China Dixon. Oh, my goodness. Now, you talk about power behind that return, 18-11. And Mackenzie Wells to serve it. Here's your set. Perfect. Emily Grace Calhoun saw the opening, saw that blind spot in there, and went right for it and connected. A 19-11 lead. And back to serve, Chloe Steen, who's serving for the first time tonight. Chloe is a 5'10 freshman from Olive Branch, Mississippi, and Laura Rose Gray throws those hands in the air after she got the block. Union in the red zone now, 20-11, 5 away from a victory. Chloe with the serve. They're going to set this one up and try to get it with that downward flight. Didn't quite work. Nice block on the inside. That was great communication between both Medeiros and Jonigan. 20-12, and so West Alabama trying to see if it can put together a run of its own. And the high set, and that was one where they weren't able to really get it set for any of the up front players, and so a nice job on that one for West Alabama. And the Tigers have closed it to within 7 at 20-13. Union won the first set 25-17. And here we go. The fake, and it drops. Sample with a nice follow. All right, going left to right, and Union could not get the block. Medeiros doing a terrific job on the far right-hand side. It's her left, and as you're viewing it, the right-hand side of the net. So they've closed it to within 6 at 20-14. It's a 3-point run now for West Alabama. Here's Dunson with the serve. There you go, right between the defenders. That's, again, that box. And if you get it just right and you get your angle right, that is usually going to lead to a point if you can get it in between that box. Checking in for Union, Bailey Hughes. She's going back to serve, the 5'8 freshman from Murfreesboro. Went to Blackman High School. Bailey gets another high jump, and that's in. It just went beyond the backcourt, and so Union stays in the red zone up at 22-14. Largest lead in this set has been 9. Here's your set. And this has got to go. Sample just gets it between the box. And a terrific job inside by Amelia Jonigan. This young lady from Hoover, and you look at this team, they've got 6 freshmen on it, so West Alabama they're building a lot for the future. Eloisa is going back to serve now. Down 7. This team is not going to give up, even though Union's in the red zone. Here's your set. Good block on the up front row. This has to go. Here's your set again. Sample with a nice save. This is one of the better volleys we've had the whole evening. Tatch, a great save, and Union with the block. That front row managed to corral it. And in there was Hannah Hampel, who we've not seen a lot of here this evening, and she was in on that one, a 5'8 sophomore from Huntsville, and it is Hayley Ramsey, 2 points away from victory for Union. Trying to make it a 2-0 margin. It goes low. They're going to have to get this one over now. This is going to be a good set. That's wide. Nope, they say that, well, let's see. There's a little bit of indecision, but they're going to give the point to West Alabama, 23-16. And back to serve again, Amelia Jonigan. Here's your set. Power up front. Lara Rose makes it game, and it is set point. 24-16. Set point again for the Lady Bulldogs, and they will stay there. And a stray ball comes onto the floor from the fans. And Sample trying to wrap up set number 2. Nice fake up front. This has got to go for Union. Here's your set. And it went wide, but it went off of Union, so it is going to be West Alabama's point, trailing 24-17, but remaining set point. They get power back up front again with China Dixon. And to serve it, Maddie Van Dyke. Power by Tatch. And playing it up front. And it goes back to West Alabama. Net violation, and so 24-18. And you can see they're still playing very, very loose, even though they're down by 6. They believe they could come back and tie this one. Van Dyke. That's it. You are absolutely not going to stop Emily Grace Calhoun on one like that where she had too much of an angle open to her, and Union wins set number 2, 25-18. Well, I mentioned that we had a chance to visit with Alyssa Tatch before the game, and we started off by asking her what it really meant to have an opportunity to play at the collegiate level and what led her to decide to prepare for that.
Well, when I visited Union, I didn't really know much about it, but I liked that it was a smaller campus, and all of the buildings were really nice. Everything was well taken care of. And I also liked that it had the film studies and broadcast journalism majors, because not a lot of schools have that. So I just really liked the community and the opportunities that Union had for me.
And see, I'm the guy who nudged her into becoming an on-air anchor on West Tennessee This Week here in Jackson for the last couple of years. And that was always fun, because I always like to see young people finally make their debut in that fashion. And you were good, Alyssa. You really were.
Thank you.
Now, let me ask you about, I'm notorious for giving nicknames to outstanding players in all the sports I've called at Union. And I have somewhat begun to call you the cannon, because you rear back and fire on those kills to the point that it's like a ball being shot out of a cannon. How did you learn that skill? And of course, being tall is one thing that helps, but how did you learn that skill to just deliver those balls sometimes about 70 miles an hour?
Well, I guess just years of practice. It honestly was just years of practice. I went through a lot of individual training with different coaches, learning how to line up with the ball and not let it cross over my shoulders and stuff. And I'm not even like the tallest player on the team. So just years of training and just figuring out timing and stuff like that. That's what helped me.
Tell us about home, where home is, and also about your family.
Okay, home is San Antonio, Texas. I was born and raised there. My majority of my family lives there. My dad is a paramedic, and my mom's a teacher. And my sister, she is a nurse in, Georgetown, Texas. Yeah, my parents try to come to every game they can. They just went to the West Florida game and the who did we play? Auburn Montgomery game this past weekend, and they'll be coming this weekend, I think, too. So they're very supportive.
They have to be very supportive to make those kinds of trips from San Antonio, unquestionably about that. Tell everybody what your plans are after graduation, or what your dreams are after you graduate.
So next semester I'm going to LA for internships and classes and things. So I'm hoping to make connections out there to get into the film industry and things like that. So I don't I thought by this point I would know, like, this is for sure what I'm going to do and like have jobs and stuff, but that's not always.
When you get into the film industry, it's one of those where you have to take it graduated one step at a time before you get there. Last thing, Alyssa, what has the Union experience been like for you?
It's been really good. I've met a lot of amazing people. I've made a lot of really good friendships, and it's been really good. I've really enjoyed my time here.
Well, I can tell you, as one who was on the campus for 29 years as a professor, the fact that you were here made my closing years even better. And that is a sincere exclamation point that I put on that. I'll say this, Alyssa was absolutely a fabulous student, and I told her that if she didn't do this interview, I was going to call the academic center and tell them to lower her grades about 2 from what she made fabulous grades, and just a terrific student. Alyssa, it's been fun to do this in a different light than what we used to do in the classroom, and I wish you and the team a lot of good luck tonight and as we go through these final games of the season.
Thank you, Mr. Reed.
And I hope you had an opportunity to be able to see what wonderful young women Alyssa and Laura Rose Gray are, in our opportunity to get you a chance to see what they're like off the court. So with a 2-0 lead in this one, this could be the deciding set. I really do want to thank Alyssa Tatch as well as Laura Rose Gray for giving us some time, and both of them are so busy with their studies, but they were really gracious to be able to do that. So your opening serve for West Alabama is going to be Madison Fisher. And the set. Sample pushes it over. She is excellent at being able to do those recoveries from the mid-backcourt. Give it to Union. And checking back in for the Lady Bulldogs is Greta Blakemore. And Jordan Vick to serve. Tatch, the cannon has rifled again. She may have been that cannon that Barney Fife was trying to figure out how he could sell in Mayberry. Boy, does she have power on that. Vick to serve, Union with a 2-0 lead in the third set. But I like the enthusiasm. It's going to go back to, all right, Union's going to get it again, 3-0 lead. But I like the enthusiasm on the part of this West Alabama team. This has been a rough season for them. Only winning one game, that against Christian Brothers, but they just don't quit, and they all have such enthusiastic expressions on their faces. And as I say, with 6 freshmen on this team, you got to know, actually, I shorted them 7 freshmen on this team. You got to know that they're going to have a huge nucleus for the future. Into the net. That is one of the few service errors that we've seen all night long. We'd only had one more before that one. So give it to West Alabama, and back to serve again is going to be Wells. McKenzie gets a good one over. And the block. Good up front. Blocked by Jonigan to make it a 4-2 third set. If Union wins it, it'll be done, and we will go on to Bulldog Madness, which we won't have for you on streaming, but we will have the Saturday basketball game and a little bit of indecision on the part of the Lady Bulldogs, and it's a 4-3 game. We will have that opening exhibition matchup for homecoming. It is homecoming weekend coming up for Union University, and so we'll have those games for you on Saturday. Tip-off is at 2 o'clock. We'll be here a little bit before that, and that's wide. Nope, they say it was inbounds, and so from our vantage point, it was a little bit difficult to see. It looked like it was wide, but we got a tie game at 4-4. And here goes Wells again to the serve. More of the flat-footed variety that time. And in between the defenders, a nice save on the part of Dixon. Tatch, the cannon, lets it fire back, and it goes off the ceiling, and Union regains the lead at 5-4, and Tatch back to the serve. As you heard, Alyssa wants to go into the film industry, and she's really looking forward to learning from that at the Los Angeles Film Center for students from Christian colleges all across America. And that's been rather unorthodox volley here. The block, nice recovery on the part of Vick. And a rare back and fire from Owens, but the block, and you can see getting that fist pump is Dixon. She's happy about that one. Checking back in is Dunson. And she'll go back to serve with the game all tied at 5. Union winning the first 2 sets. And she does that pounding type preparation before her serve. This one's got to go. Blocked perfectly in front. Timed it. Emily Grace Calhoun gives Union the lead again at 6-5. And Emily Grace is going back to serve. Power move, but Union there to stop it. Going with the left hand that time. Excellent job by Blakemore. And Union on top 7-5. And checking in for Union, somebody we haven't seen a lot of this season, Lauren Burrell, the 5'5" sophomore from Huntsville, Alabama, and she comes right in to serve. That one goes up into the scorer's table. So it's a 7-6 lead on the part of the Lady Bulldogs. And going back to serve, it is Niespojinski. Let's see if Eloisa can put together a run for the Tigers. Got that good downward flight on it. This has got to go. Recovered in the back row by Burrell. And that was a little bit of an interesting exchange by the up front players. And Union is not going to be able to save that one. A little bit of juggling act, and so it is tied at 7. That's the first time that the Tigers have been able to level it. And let's see how Eloisa serves this one. Again, nice downward arc to that serve. And a dink. Perfectly recovering on that one. Union with a block. Emily Rose Gray as well as Emily Grace Calhoun. Laura Rose Gray and Emily Grace, they had it all together up front. And so Union retakes the lead 8-7, and it is Blakemore to the serve. And forgive me, it was Blakemore that was actually helping out on that block up front. And that one just goes off of the hands of Blakemore. And checking in for Union is Bailey Hughes once again. Back to serve is Jonigan. She has a pounding serve with that right hand. Excellent angle on that return by Owens. So Reese with the kill to make it a 9-8 game, and Darren McClure is circulating a lot of his players in and out, and back to serve this time is Hayley Ramsey. Hayley did some terrific service down the latter stages of set number 2, and Union trying to close it out here in this third set. Sample the save. Tatch. Nice save in the backcourt by Ramsey. And a good dig up front. And give it to Union. Into the net, and so Union gets the point, and Lady Bulldogs up 10-8. I go 6'2.5", but I think they may underestimate the height of Laura Rose Gray. She looks more like she's about 6'4", 6'5" to me. All right, this one's got to go. And Sample just simply could not get back fast enough to save that one. A 10-9 game. Checking back in is China Dixon. And back to serve is Maddie Van Dyke. Oh, my. Laura Rose would not be denied on that one. An 11-9 lead, and Laura Rose comes out of the game and slaps high fives with all of her other teammates. Here's Sample to serve. She has a terrific serve, particularly for somebody who only goes 5'5", and it's in. Yeah, that's one of those that you got to make up your mind and decide, I'm going to go for it. And if you don't, it's probably going to fall, and that's exactly what happened as Union takes a 3-point lead. Sample again. She gets a lot of power on her jump. This has got to go. Sample the save. And off the fingertips. Oh, my goodness. That was one of those, I know they wish they would have had that back. And Union up 13-9. And they're going to clean up a little bit of moisture around the surface on the Union side, just right in the area where the blockers are. And for those of you who are watching in Jackson, and if you want to come out and see a preview of what Union's men's and women's basketball teams are going to be, head on out here, because about 10 minutes after this volleyball game is done and they can strike the nets, they're going to take over and have Bulldog Madness, and it's going to be fun and games as well as a light scrimmage, just to whet everybody's appetite for the start of the season Saturday afternoon, which we will be here for you with Worthy Road Studios covering it for the Union Digital Network. It's a 13-11 game, and back to serve is Madison Fisher. Madison, a sophomore. The fake and a nice turnaround. Here you go. You knew they were going to go left to right. Here's your set. Tatch. And give it to Union. 14-10. And it is going to be Jordan Vick back to serve again. Jordan's hometown, only about an hour just off the interstate from Jackson. Power move on the part of Dixon, but blocked beautifully up front by Union. And the Lady Bulldogs with their biggest lead of this third and what they hope will be final set, 16-10. We've been at it about an hour and 7 minutes. The push saved by Sample. Tatch. The cannonball just a little bit short of doing what she wanted to see happen. Great dig in the backcourt. They got to get this one to go. Tatch. Nice save on the part of the Tigers. Watch this one. It's in. That was, again, another one of those rare back and fire. Power moves. We're going to take quite a timeout right here with Union on top, 16-10. And we talked to Coach Darren McClure before tonight's game about whether it's a difficult job down the stretch to keep this team thinking that it's one game at a time. Here's what he had to say.
Yeah, well, for the longest time as a young coach, sometimes I would shy away from those conversations. But I've learned, they know the standings. They know what's at what's on the table, what we have coming up. So we just talked about it yesterday in practice about, what we have coming up, where we need to be, what kind of a goal is for us. And so our team understands that the most important match we're playing is this one right now, and we have to take it one match at a time. So we're just trying to do our best and do that for sure.
Thanks, Darren, and good luck tonight.
Thank you.
That's one thing I like about Darren McClure is that he doesn't mess with coach speak a great deal. He just tells it like it is, and he realizes the girls know where they stand, and so they had an honest conversation about it rather than dodging it. But he's got enough faith in them to realize that they'll take it one game at a time. Now, you get Mark Campbell in an interview like that, and you'll hear more coach speak, and you'd begin to believe that Union will never win a game this season. And a high jump block by Tatch. I don't know what her vertical jump ability is, but she is amazing when she can get that. A 17-10 lead for Union. Lady Bulldogs closing in on another straight set victory. Push to the backcourt, nicely saved by Ramsey. I got to tell you, this backcourt on the part of and off the hands of Vick. Good power on the part of West Alabama. The one thing I have really noticed that West Alabama has had some strength with is their ability to dig out in the backcourt. They've done a great job of saving a number of balls that might have fallen if it had been a different opponent. Going left to right. That was a hard one by Blakemore. They're going to have to hurry for this one. They're not going to save that one. Well, no, it's going to be short. Sample gave everything she could, but she just didn't have that much power going in reverse. 17-12. Lady Bulldogs leading by 5. And West Alabama trying to make a rally. Great power by Blakemore, but nicely saved, but it was into the net. And so violation, and it goes to Union, and the Lady Bulldogs up 18-12 with Tatch as the server. And checking back in is Reese Owens. Alyssa's going to the high jump serve. She'll do that flat-footed serve. That one's wide. Just a little bit too much power on the part of Jonigan. A 19-12 Union lead. This one, and there you see Buster Bulldog trying to get the crowd more energized as well. They've had a lot of good support here tonight. Here's your set. Nice recovery. And they were not going to be denied that time, and China Dixon just powered it over, and so it's a 19-13 game. And checking back in is Kiara Dunson. And she'll serve. And here you go, the set. Nice job in the backcourt. Blocked by Union, but they were in the net. Wait a minute, now did they reverse it and give it to Union? I saw two different hand motions. And it appears that it does go to Union. The Lady Bulldogs in the red zone to wrap this one up 20-13. And back to serve is Burrell. Lauren, and nobody was calling for it for West Alabama, so Lauren picks up a point on that. The little sophomore from Grissom High School in Huntsville, Alabama. And you can see how happy she was about that. And that one is just a little bit beyond the end line. I think she had just a little bit too much Cinnamon Toast Crunch. And it was left over when she powered that serve. She's very, very deceptive with that 5'5" height. 21-14, Union remaining in the red zone. And here goes Eloisa. And they give it back on the other side to West Alabama. 6 points down, trying to make a rally and get this one into a fourth set. Eloisa the serve. The curl, and that almost fooled Union. Tatch goes into the net. Alyssa tried to fake the power move and go with sort of a, shall we say, just a little bit of a dink, a little bit too far out for that. And so it's a 5-point lead for the Lady Bulldogs. Eloisa to serve again. That one is not going to be denied at all by Laura Rose Gray. It was really neat to hear both of these young women, Laura Rose as well as Alyssa Tatch, talk about the importance of their parents in their lives, and particularly the support they've had as athletes. And Alyssa's parents actually try to make a lot of these trips, even though they live in San Antonio. Here we go. Laura Rose, and they're going to have to get this one over. Good curl. And the block, this one has to go, and they've got one more left to right, and it goes off of the hands of Tatch. A 22-17 game. This has been a very, very good, intense set on the part of West Alabama. In fact, it's been the best one we've seen of them just not giving up and absolutely continuing to play their game. You got to know that in the seasons to come, they have got some people that are going to be standouts with the 7 freshmen they have. It's short, and it goes to Union. So 23-17, 2 points away from ending it all. And Ramsey's going back to serve, and again, the secret weapon is here, hoping to be able to wrap it all up. This one would get it to match point. And that one just went out of the range of trying to desperately get over there was Van Dyke. And so here we are, match point. 24-17. Lady Bulldogs could wrap it up with this one. Sample saved it, but it went up into the stands. So it's 24-18. It's still match point, but still hope for West Alabama. And so it's Van Dyke who's going to try to keep it alive. And into the net. Unforced error on the part of the Lady Bulldogs. It's a 24-19 lead. Now they would have to get to 26 at this point to be able to take this set. Here's your set. Nice save by the up front blockers. And it is in. Yeah, just beyond the backcourt of Union, so it's 24-20. They are still alive. Van Dyke happy about that one, and she's going to try to see if she can close it to within 3. Here's your set. Tatch. That's it. There wasn't a doubt in my mind when I saw her take that 2-step jump and then be able to go downward with it almost right off the bat. And Union wins the third and final set 25-20. Let me give you a wrap-up on some of the totals that we have here for tonight's game. Lady Bulldogs led in kills 45-37. And when it came to aces, service aces, 8-2. They had a huge advantage on that during the course of the evening. In assists, 38-30, and when you lead in assists, that means you've got great communication going on with your team, and you've got the right players setting up the others to come up with a score. Union leading in digs, 54-44, and when it comes to everything else, it was just all Lady Bulldogs tonight, and they winning in straight sets. Let me try to give you some individual totals for West Alabama. The leading scorer was Jonigan with 12 points. She did have a fine evening tonight, and her hitting percentage was .467, so she was solid across the board and had 9 kills. And she and Fisher tied with 9 kills. Dixon had 8, and Madero 7 for West Alabama. And then the leader in digs was Wells with 13. Van Dyke had 8 for Union. And let's look on the other side here. Leading scorer, and no surprise, was Alyssa Tatch with 13 points tonight, 11 for Emily Grace Calhoun, and 10 for Greta Blakemore, 7 for Laura Rose Gray. But Laura Rose was all over the place up front with blocks across the board. She had 7 kills tonight and a hitting percentage of .412. She was terrific. Alyssa Tatch with 12 kills, as is usually the case. She was the leader in that category. Calhoun with 9 and 6 each for Owens and Blakemore. And when it comes to the hitting percentages tonight, your leader was Jordan Vick at .556 on the evening, and she had 28 assists tonight. Unbelievable. Sample with 16 digs, as we mentioned. She's as good as there is in the Gulf South Conference at 5'5", at being able to dig them out. 12 for Vic and 10 for Alyssa Tatch. And so that pretty well wraps it up. Union winning its 17th game of the season in 28 tries, and now moving to 8-4 on the season in the Gulf South Conference. So they will be hitting the road again. This was just a one-night visit to town. They'll be hitting the road this weekend against West Georgia and Valdosta State. Lady Bulldogs should be favored to win, but you got to remember, on the road, it can be a lot tougher when you're not in the confines and the friendly confines and sleeping in your own bed at night. It can be very, very tough. But the Friday game will be at Carrollton, Georgia for West Georgia, and then Valdosta State Sunday afternoon at 12 noon Central Time. They'll be playing at 1 o'clock Eastern. And then we'll be back right here with 2 more final home games of the season on Thursday night, the 11th, And a week from Friday night, Lee will be coming to town on Thursday night and Shorter on Friday. And that's a big one for the Lady Bulldogs because they would love to be able to gain revenge for 2 weekend losses that they had back in October. Actually, it was late September when they went to Lee and Shorter. And it would be very, very important for Union because they could potentially leapfrog over Shorter and get the second seed, or at least the third seed in the Gulf South Conference standing. So all of these games are so very, very important as to where the seeding is going to be as far as the conference tournament is concerned, which more than likely is going to be at West Florida because I don't see anybody that's going to be stopping them in the conference. So that about wraps it up. And remember, we will be with you Saturday afternoon, a little bit before 2 o'clock, live right here on the Union Digital Network. And we'll be bringing you the exhibition opener of the season as Union will be taking on in a doubleheader for men and women. It will be UT Southern, which is the former Martin Methodist, and Bethel. And so it should be a great afternoon. Hope you can be here in person, but if you can't, join us here on the Digital Network, and we'll be bringing you all of that action. Our executive producer and director of Worthy Road Studios Sports, if I say it slower, Paul, I can get it right, is Paul Schultze. And your camera operators and two of the best guys that there are, Billy Bolin and Christopher Reasons. And until we're with you again on Saturday afternoon, this is Steve Beverly saying so long from the great hub city of West Tennessee.